Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so over the last 30 years, China didn't just build factories, right? They built this completely synchronized nationwide logistics engine. And honestly, it is the real reason they became the world's undisputed manufacturing hub. So today, we're going to decode exactly how this massive machine actually works. We'll be looking closely at the specific networks, the tech, and the strategies that keep the entire global supply chain moving.
To really wrap our heads around a massive, nationwide infrastructure project like this, we've got to ground it in reality. So, we're going to track the journey of a single everyday item, your smartphone. By tracing its path from the absolute origin point all the way to its global export, we can finally answer the ultimate question: what exactly makes China's logistics truly world-class?
But right off the bat, before we track our phone, we need to bust a pretty pervasive myth. People used to think, well, actually, a lot of people still think, that global manufacturing dominance is just about having the absolute lowest labor costs. But the new reality, it's all about unparalleled supply chain efficiency. Even as labor costs change and go up, it's this structural advantage that keeps their engine running faster and cheaper than almost anywhere else on Earth. Let's see exactly how that happens.
Section 1. The power of clustering. Let's start right at the absolute origin point of our smartphone to see what an integrated supply chain actually looks like on the ground.
So China's biggest structural advantage lies in this concept called clustering. Basically, it's the strategic grouping of interconnected manufacturing components, logistics, and services all right next to each other. Think of it like a hyper-efficient, massive campus. Instead of having parts scattered across a whole country or an entire continent, everything is in the exact same neighborhood. This literally acts as the beating heart of their manufacturing dominance.
What does this mean for our smartphone? Well, a factory doesn't have to sit around waiting weeks for parts to cross an ocean. The screens, the batteries, the chips, and even the final packaging and logistics services, they're all sourced within just a few hundred kilometers. Having everything this close completely slashes lead times and cuts costs way down before the phone is even fully put together.
Section 2. The domestic artery network. Once our smartphone is perfectly assembled and packaged, it needs to move. It jumps straight into the country's massive domestic transport arteries.
And the product moves flawlessly, mainly because of the sheer scale of this infrastructure. First, it hits an endless, massive expressway network that connects inland cities directly to factories and ports. Then, it utilizes the world's largest high-speed rail network, traveling on dedicated freight corridors. The mind-blowing part here is that the second a product leaves that factory cluster, it never hits a geographic bottleneck. It just glides.
Section 3. Smart warehousing and automation. Moving fast on roads and rails is great, but it doesn't mean much if the goods just get stuck in a warehouse. Next, our smartphone enters the actual nervous system of the logistics operation to be sorted and routed. Inside these massive hubs, technology totally takes the wheel. We're talking AI-driven inventory systems and robotic sorting centers that process goods with terrifying speed and precision. In these fully automated warehouses, human error is virtually eliminated. Plus, real-time tracking algorithms calculate the absolute fastest route for our smartphone, knowing precisely where it is every single millisecond.
And all of this builds to an absolutely incredible payoff: 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, you heard that right. Because of the vast automation we just explored, massive orders can be delivered across huge portions of China in just 1 to 2 days. It's the perfect marriage of endless physical road and rail infrastructure and a highly advanced, totally digital nervous system.
Section 4. Gateways to the world. Now our smartphone is ready to leave the country. Our incredibly fast-moving device finally reaches the ocean to head overseas.
The scale of these gateways is genuinely staggering. Our smartphone arrives at some of the busiest seaports in the world, places like Shanghai, Ningbo Shaoshan, or Shenzhen. And listen, these aren't just standard docks. They are highly automated deep-water container terminals that can accommodate the largest cargo ships on the planet and handle massive export volumes. Or if it needs rapid international delivery, it routes straight through modern, massive air cargo hubs like Shanghai Pudong or Guangzhou Baiyun.
Section 5. Efficiency over cheap labor. We've tracked the journey from raw parts to the global gateway. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at how this entire living organism of infrastructure completely redefines global competition.
The ultimate advantage is this specific life cycle: factory to warehouse to port to ship to overseas customer. The ability to move a product through this exact chain faster and cheaper than almost anywhere else on the planet is the true power of the system. A product travels seamlessly from a clustered factory, through an AI-driven warehouse, down a dedicated freight corridor, and straight onto a deep-water ship without skipping a single beat.
So what really keeps them on top? It's the synthesis of it all. It's world-class automated ports perfectly synced with incredibly dense domestic transport networks, advanced warehousing technology, and integrated manufacturing ecosystems. Together, this whole shebang creates one of the most efficient supply chains in the world. It proves that even as labor costs rise, 3 decades of relentless structural efficiency is what actually maintains the ultimate competitive edge.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating question to wrap up this explainer. Moving forward in global trade, with such a highly integrated and massively scaled logistics ecosystem, how can other countries possibly compete? I mean, how can any other nation build the sheer volume of physical and digital infrastructure required to challenge this level of logistical mastery? Think about that the next time a package arrives at your door perfectly tracked and right on time. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.